Raider Nation, what's going on? You're watching the Raiders Report. Coming up here on today's show, I have ranked every single Raiders rookie. We're talking about players that were drafted and UDFAs, and I'm ranking them from 18 all the way down to one of around which players I'm looking forward to watching at Raiders rookie training camp the most. But hey, huge shout out to today's sponsor, RexMD. If you want to get a little lucky Irish, and you know what I'm talking about, and you got a hard time getting hard, go to rexmd.com/chat. Don't worry if you can't remember that link. It's going to be available for you guys down in the comments and in the description of today's show. So anytime the offseason hits, I mean, like, let's be real. Sometimes May, June, and July, it's like I'm dragging myself through the months waiting for actual football. I hear training camp, bang. That's how I get, RexMD style. And Raiders rookie training camp starts on July 20th. The veterans, they report July 25th. So I figured I would do a little bit of a fun and entertaining show today, ranking every single Raiders rookie in terms of which players I am the most excited to see how things end up turning out. Before I show you my list, though, because if I'm going to show you mine, you guys got to show me yours. Which Raiders rookie are you watching at training camp? Meaning, which player are you most excited to see? And I get it. Not everybody's going to be able to go out to training camp, but what player are you going on Google? What player are you going on YouTube? What player are you looking for updates on? That's how I want you to answer this question. And for me, he'll be ranked at number 1. Let's go to 18 on the list. It's John Samuel Shenker. And no disrespect to this guy, but at the tight end position, I'm not really worried about it. He is a receiving option coming out of Auburn. You got Austin Hooper. We got Michael Mayer. We got O.J. Howard. And realistically, I will also be looking at Jesper Horsted because I do think that there is a three-way battle between which tight ends up making this roster. And the final spot's going to be between O.J. and Mr. Horsted. Let's go to 17 on our LV rookies to watch. I got Azizi Hearn. We're rolling in here at the cornerback position. Anytime you get a dude who goes to UCLA or anytime I get a player that's from the California area, I usually get a lot more Raider fans ask me, hey, what about this guy? What about that guy? I look at UDFAs, I look at sometimes the money. The Raiders did not give Azizi a lot of money. Yes, the cornerback position is always an intriguing one, but he comes in at 17. Let's go to 16 on my list. It's George Tarlas, and I don't know Tarlas personally. I've never met him. I've never DM'd him. But the players that I talk to inside of the Raiders locker room love this guy. Like, they like what he brings to the table. I realize that's not the correct picture, but it's all good. Sorry, George. At the end of the day, though, I want to be able to root for certain players. And I look at Tarlas, and I know for a fact that this is a player that a lot of teammates have really rallied around. And unfortunately for him, he's not going to end up making this roster because, I mean, let's face it, this team's only going to keep 4, maybe 5 defensive ends. And when you're given the number 79, I think it's just kind of the writing's on the wall that, unfortunately, the chances of you making this roster are not quite there. Let's go to number 15 on my list here, and it's Jaydon Grant. And the reason why I'm really curious to see how Jaydon Grant ends up fitting with the Las Vegas Raiders is the versatility aspect. This is a player, to me, when you look at his size, he looks a lot more like a safety. Now, he's played a little bit of cornerback, and he's played some safety as well in college. So the fact that you have that versatility, it will intrigue me to see how the Raiders end up using him. And anytime you get a player that is as physical as Grant is, I just think like McDaniels and Ziegler, they're going to be like, all right, well, this guy could be somebody that we could potentially use, let's say, on special teams. But for Jaydon Grant, he's had a lot of playing time at Oregon State. Definitely somebody to keep in mind. All right, we're going to keep it rolling here through our top rookies to watch at Raiders rookie training camp. Here's where our first 4. Now we're going to go to number 14, rolling here on the list. But first, Jeremy's telling me, but wait, there's more. What is it? I don't necessarily know. Actually, I do know. Huge shout out to today's sponsor, RexMD, for sponsoring the Raiders Report. And if you haven't already, go to rexmd.com/chat. 90% off, only pay $2 per dosage. And if you're embarrassed to go get this product, that's on you. I would say go down to the comments, go down in the description, and get started with our awesome sponsor because they are hooking up the nation. So fellas, do you sometimes lack confidence in the bedroom? Do you wish you could have a more fulfilling sex life? Well, you're not alone. That's why we're excited to tell you about RexMD, the online source for men's wellness. RexMD offers an easy and discreet way to get the medication you need for erectile dysfunction without having to visit a doctor's office. With just a few clicks, you can have your medication delivered straight to your door at a fraction of the cost of traditional pharmacies. RexMD's team of licensed physicians will work with you to find the right treatment plan, and their medication is made in the USA, so you can trust its quality. Plus, their customer support team is available 24/7 to answer any questions or concerns you may have. So if you're ready to take control of your sex life and say goodbye to ED, head on over to rexmd.com/chat and start your consultation today. Take advantage of their best deal they have ever offered and save up to 90% off and only pay $2 per dosage with our exclusive link. Go to rexmd.com/chat for this limited time deal. Starter packs of generic Viagra or Cialis are now available for our listeners to get started. That's rexmd.com/chat for up to 90% off. Let's go to Jordan Perryman rolling in here on the Raiders board. He's coming in at number 14. And when it comes down to Perryman, it's a lot of the same things that I said around Azizi Hearn. The cornerback position will always be a position that I watch at Raiders training camp. Why? The secondary for this team, which maybe not is 100% always their fault because the Raiders haven't been able to get a lot of pass rush on the quarterback. It's still one, though, that I do think is important that a lot of Raider fans should keep in mind. The next player coming in here, number 13, and I am repping my lucky Irish jersey. It's David Agoha. And had the opportunity to talk to him. He's a really, really humble young man, knows that he's getting a great opportunity to play in the NFL. And before, he was in the Nigerian Premier Basketball League, 6'5", 245-pounder, really good athlete overall. But when I tell you he's a super humble kid, he calls me sir all the time. I check in with him once a week. Hey, man, how are Raiders practices going? How are your workouts going? How do you like Las Vegas? How do you like the United States? Like, give me as much information as you can. And you could just tell he's super excited for the opportunity that he's given. And for that reason, I'm going to be watching him. Let's go to number 12 here. And to be honest, this is where there's a little bit of a tier break. I would say from 12 on down, I can make an argument, not a great argument, but I can make an argument of why every player from 12 on down does have a chance to make the 53-man roster. For Dalton Wagner, the biggest reason why he could make it, he's 6'8", he's 320, and Carmen Brasillo, the Raiders' offensive line coach, loves a good, I guess, project is probably the way that I'll use it. Not many players have the pass blocking ability that Wagner does right away, which is intriguing to me because he is a right tackle, and I want him to be able to build a little bit more from that run blocking standpoint. But when you're just this big of a human being, coaches are going to look at that and say, I might be able to turn that into something. So we'll see what Dalton Wagner can do, which then puts me to my next person, McClendon Curtis, offensive lineman. He has played offensive tackle. He's going to be an offensive guard from what it sounds like for the Las Vegas Raiders overall. And for me, I look at Curtis as another project player. Was shocked the fact that this young man did not get drafted. And I had him as a 4th, 5th round overall prospect grade on him. And I'm not sold on Alex Bars. I like Greg Van Roten. I like Netane Moody. But I also know that the Silver and Black want to see some upside. And when it comes to Curtis, he's a very intelligent player who's played multiple positions on the offensive line. And versatility is going to be key for some of these players who, let's face it, are bottom of the roster. If you're looking for daily videos around the Silver and Black, be the most informed Raiders fan in your friend group. I want to be your one-stop shop. I want to be your go-to guy. We all have that friend. We all have that friend that's, hey, this is the guy that I want to go party with. This is the friend that's going to be the best man at my wedding. I want you to be my best man. I want to be your groomsman when it comes to Raiders content. That is what I strive to do. Let me prove it to you. Hit that subscribe button. Turn on those notifications. If you don't like it after a week, you can ditch me. It's all good. Let's go to number 10 here. It's Nesta Jade Silvera at the defensive tackle position. He will make this Raiders roster. And what I am interested to see what he is able to do for this team is I know he's a good run stopper. Like, that's what he does. He is an anchor. And what do I mean by that necessarily? There's not many people that have the lower body strength that Nesta Jade Silvera has, where he has the ability to just put his feet in the ground and people don't move him. Is he anything more than that? No, not really. But this Raiders defensive tackle group needs to get better. And even though he was drafted in the 7th round, he will still be battling for a roster spot. At number 9, here are my rookies to watch. It's Adam Plant Jr. And if you've watched this show before, you'll know I'm a big fan of Plant. I'm a big fan of his family. They have been super generous to me. There's no doubt about that. And I'm still waiting for the cheesecake there, Adam, if you're watching. Adam Plant Sr., I'm waiting for the cheesecake. No, but seriously, this has been a player that's been really, really hyped up during OTAs, during minicamp. He's got a good head on his shoulders. You've heard Chandler Jones talk about him quite a bit, and he's going to be battling it out with Jordan Willis for that final spot. If he dominates again in training camp, and if he looks really solid in the preseason, Adam Plant Jr. has a legit shot to make this 53-man. Let's go to number 8, though, and it's another UDFA, and his name is Drake Thomas at the linebacker position. The reason why I have Thomas over Plant Jr. is because I would say in the last 2 to 3 weeks, the people who I really trust inside of that Raiders room have really, and I mean really, been hyping up Thomas, where Plant's not going to play special teams. Thomas has the opportunity to play special teams. And this Raiders organization, when it comes down to the final 3-2 final spot on that 53-man, for your ability to play special teams and to play defense, that is going to separate some players. And another thing is going to be intelligence. Drake Thomas is an extremely intelligent player, and he might not have the measurables. He might not be the greatest athlete. But the thing that I'll always say is, if guys can play football and they just always find themselves in the right spot, isn't that more valuable than somebody who might be the freak athlete that's not in the right spot? I personally think so. So which UDFA has the best chance to make the roster? I would say right now it is up between Drake Thomas, Adam Plant Jr., and then you could look at McClendon Curtis. You can also look at Dalton Wagner as well, the offensive tackle. So Drake Thomas plays linebacker. Coming in here at number 7, I'm going to go with Amari Burney. And even though Burney hasn't gotten a lot of, I'll call it attention from the media, for people who are really connected inside of that Raiders organization, they love this kid. They think he is one of the better athletes on their roster. And I would look at him as a Divine Diablo potential replacement if Divine can't get his shit together, because they look at Burney and he's going to play special teams right away. And they know that he's got a lot of SEC experience. And if Diablo struggles third year in this system, you're going to see Burney get some reps because they want him to go out there and show his athletic ability. Let's go to number 6 here. It's Tre Tucker at the wide receiver position. Let's face it. You gave up a third-round pick for Darren Waller. I say that alone, I can literally tell you this. If we would have viewed the trade as Darren Waller for Tre Tucker straight up, a lot of Raider fans, for that reason, are going to be keeping their eye close on Tucker. I do anticipate this team to use him in a lot of jet sweeps. I anticipate this team to use him a lot on special teams, and even though he might be not the best Madden kick returner, and I say that jokingly for those who have been watching our Madden Sims, but to me, Tucker offers that speed, but what he really brings to the table is his quickness and his ability to start, stop on a dime, and even if that's pre-snap recognition, that's going to help out Garoppolo. That's going to help out this offense move the football down the field. Number 5 is Michael Mayer, and Mayer was unable to participate during mandatory minicamp, though I've heard a lot of good things about what he was able to do during OTAs, and he might be battling an injury. It has not really been disclosed, if I'm being 100% honest with y'all. I know he's excited to be a Raider. He knows he has a great opportunity. He's really excited to be in the Josh McDaniels system. And this is a dude who, he might not put up big numbers in year one. He has the upside, though, to be the best tight end in the NFL in 2 to 3 years. Let's go to number 4 here. This is Chris Smith III, the safety out of Georgia. And I know some of you are like, wow, you're more excited to watch Chris Smith than Michael Mayer? I am. Why? Michael Mayer is going to be a person that I know for a fact is going to be used in this Raiders offense. Chris Smith, on the other hand, I'm intrigued because Marcus Epps is going to get snaps. After that, there's not another safety on this roster that I can guarantee is going to have over 800, 900 snaps. And that's a lot of snaps, don't get me wrong. But I do think if Merrick struggles, look out for Smith because they love this young man here. He was a leader of the Georgia defense, and I know for a fact that he is a extremely intelligent player. And then there's even Isaiah Palomeo who could creep in a little bit on Merrick's playing time. Let's get into my top 3, though, and These might be a little bit of some dumb moments, but duh. Aidan O'Connell, he's probably going to get the second most coverage from the media. He might get the most media coverage. And the biggest reason, probably because of the number that he wears in the position that he plays, right? I'm going to be watching to see what O'Connell does. And whether you're a Derek Carr fan, whether you're not a Derek Carr fan, I hope every single Raider fan can look at themselves in the mirror and be like, you know what, I will do nothing but wish DC the best, but it was a great divorce. I'm happy to move on. I hope nothing but the best for O'Connell, but, like, let's be real. People are going to be seeing what Aidan O'Connell looks like during training camp. Number 2 rolling in here is Jakorian Bennett. Bennett has a legit shot to start in the secondary for the Raiders. My answer, that opinion, I guess, or that analysis might change if the Raiders decide to go out and add a veteran corner like a Marcus Peters or whoever they decide to add to that secondary. But Bennett right now is going to be battling with Tyler Hall to be the starter in the slot. And if the Raiders do add a Marcus Peters, then I'm going to be watching even closer because, I mean, that means Nate Hobbs could play on the inside, and maybe they're not as sold on Tyler Hall and Jakorian Bennett as they originally thought they were. But to me, he's a dog. He's an athletic player, and I can't wait to see what he ends up looking like, which means coming in at number 1, and I'll be real with you, it's not even close. And really, I don't even know if he's going to be participating in training camp. At this moment that I am filming, the hardest player to get an update on, maybe even more than a guy like Jimmy Garoppolo, every day, and I swear to all y'all, every day, I reach out to my sources and I say, give me an update on Jimmy G, give me an update on Tyree Wilson. And I don't get, crickets, this is what you get. Nothing. I don't know if Wilson's going to be at training camp. However, when he underwent his surgery back on November 2nd, when he was at Media Day, when we talked to him at the NFL Combine, everybody who has interviewed him, any person that I have ever talked to, the expectation is that Tyree Wilson, who the Raiders drafted at number 7 overall, it is expected that he is going to be at training camp. That's what I was told. If he is not out there at training camp, that's another story where maybe we should worry about this Liz Frank injury a little bit more. Maybe we should be concerned about that foot injury. I do think it is something to at least consider. I do think it's something to watch, but I can promise you this. If he's 100% healthy, and he's out there balling out, this is going to be a player that I know for a fact everybody wants to watch and wants to see. I'll also say this. I just realized that we left off Byron Young off this list. So let's just say, hypothetically speaking, we're going to put him at 6 or 7 because I'm interested to see the defensive tackle position, okay? I am interested to see where everything, Jug said he messed up. This is on me, too. Jugs and I, full disclosure, we were interviewing people today for Chat Sports, so I ran out a little bit of time. I'm going to put Byron Young, though, at 6 or 7. I want to see what this young guy can do. I also think that he has the ability to play right away as a defensive tackle. Really talented player, works his freaking tail off. He has the shot to be the second defensive tackle behind Bilal Nichols. So everybody spam those L's in the chat. Which player, though, do you disagree with most of my rankings? I guess I disagree with Byron Young because he didn't even make it. No, Byron, I'm sorry, man. If you come across this video, that's on me. I would say right away, though, the ones that are going to change the most is Tyree Wilson if he's not out there. I'm also really curious to see how much they use Michael Mayer in terms of Austin Hooper. I want to see how much run Nesta Jade Silvera is getting, maybe over a Neil Farrell Jr., maybe over a Matthew Butler. There's no doubt about that. I want to see how McClendon Curtis, Dalton Wagner are all being used. So seriously, let me know where you disagree with me the most. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button.